You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Single Ladies After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Single Ladies After Show.
Gotta get the cue. All single ladies, all single ladies, all single ladies, all single ladies. You got it, girl. You got it.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing, and we are here doing another great after show on AFTERBUZZ TV. This is the after show for Single Ladies Season 2, episode number 7, and it is called Eat, Play, Love. And I love that play on of words because one of my favorite movies, and here it goes, we keep on hearing it. There we go. And one of my favorite movies is Eat, Pray, Love.
Right.
Next to me is our new co-host, Miss Jahminah. She
Hey,
is
y'all.
a model and fashion reporter. Unfortunately, Lauren is still in the hospital recovering, so everybody, please pray, pray, pray for her. Give her lots of love that she'll recover soon. Maricela is out at a spicy event, so she'll be here next week. But you know what? Me and Jahminah are going to have a great time because this was a great episode. Now, I'm Fallon Mercedes. I'm one of your hosts, and you can tweet at me at Miss Mercedes. It's MIS Mercedes. And where can we find you at, Jahminah?
Jahminah H at Twitter, Facebook, everything. So JAHMINAHH.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Now, I know we had spoke before I started doing the show. You had sent me some messages. You're like, girl, I love me some Single Ladies.
Yes.
I need to get on. So how long have you been a fan of Single Ladies?
I've been a fan of Single Ladies since obviously the first season. Stacey Dash was one of my favorite characters. I mean, I pretty much watch her grow up even though she's older than me. So seeing her in different roles, and especially the role
Clueless.
I know, Clueless.
Girl,
oh my
Clueless
gosh, that's
was
a
my
classic.
show. I wanted to be Stacey Dash.
Everybody
and
wanted to be her. So I think I've been a fan since, day one. And I mean, Val, her character was always fashionable. So that was the thing that drew me in when I first started watching it.
And how do you feel that she's no longer on the show?
I understand if you have to make, cut ties with the whole thing. I understand that there may have been some tension between her and Lisa Ray. So I understand, if you have to part ties, just do it. And I mean, I'm just happy that they were able to replace someone that seems kind of just like her. So hopefully Stacey's moving on to other things.
And that's what I was going to ask you, because they keep on saying it's not a replacement, that Raquel
It's
is
a replacement.
Okay, that's
It's
what I
a
was going to say.
replacement.
So you do believe it's a replacement, that it's not.
Definitely.
Okay, and why do you feel that?
Well, I mean, Raquel is totally fashionable. I mean, the light-eyed thing, she's beautiful. She looks like a Barbie doll, just like Stacey Dash. I mean, her character is the same, really nice and sweet, and then kind of gets around with the guys sometimes. So I think that, I mean, it's a replacement. It's clear as day.
Yeah. And I know she was one of your favorite characters, Val, and a lot of the audience, they were really rooting for Val and loving her. So when she left the show, it was kind of a disappointment. Now, you say that there is a similarity in Raquel. Do you think that she's going to win over the fans like Val did?
I think that Raquel has to come stronger a little bit. I know Stacey Dash, she already has a huge following, and I know Denise, the actress Denise, she is lesser known, so I feel like she has to bring it a little bit more in order for people to, so I definitely think that Raquel definitely needs to come on and just show us some more juice.
You know what? My personal opinion of Raquel, I love her so far. And I know, Spicy Maricela, she disagrees.
She hates her.
Yeah. Lauren, she's kind of up in the air. But for me, we were introduced to her one of the characters on the show as being powerful, as though even though she comes off very timid, you gotta understand where she's coming from. She just came off of an engagement where she found her fiance cheating on her at her engagement party. Now, for her to get up on stage, and I really give her kudos, because if I was in that situation, I probably would have handled it differently or privately. And she really got up on stage and she was like, "No, this engagement is over."
Hell to the knob.
Yes.
She has guts. She has guts.
Exactly. She went up there, and as quiet and soft-spoken as she is, she really aired it out and was like, "No, I am not standing for this." So for me, she has already brought it. Even though she's not as strong as Keisha in tone and in strength, but she has strength in her own way. It's kind of like, there's a saying, like, she has that quiet confidence. She's a lady, and she has that quiet confidence about her, and that's one of the reasons why I love her so much.
I like her a lot.
So for our first topic, we're going to open up with Raquel, even though we talked about her already, but we're going to talk about where she is right now in this episode. And we see her meeting this beautiful man that she previously met at the ball that she was at. Now, I had spoken to, I had spoken to the girls before, and I had said, Charles is beautiful, and there was this connection between them that I felt, and I felt like everybody else felt, and then he disappeared. So my prediction was, he's going to come back. So it seems as though she was done playing with her little Romeo. He was a little too young, a little too little for her. And now she's back with Charles that she bumps into. So it's nice to see the chemistry is back, and that we're going to see where this goes. What do you think of Charles? And did you see the episode where they had first met?
I missed the first episode where they first met. But as you were explaining it to me while we were watching, I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm expecting to see something happen between them. But from what I did see for tonight, he's totally wooing her. I mean, the guitar does it all.
He just put it all in the bag and gave it to her.
And he's really charming. He's really sweet, and I think they're very compatible just from what I saw from this episode. So he's confident, and he's just not over the top. So I'd like to see more of them, you know.
And it's funny how, like, you know, she finally meets somebody who I feel is more on her level, where little Romeo was too young, and you know, that romantico guy, you know, bringing her in the stall and all that other stuff. Like, that was cool, but it was just a little over the edge. So I feel like Charles, he's a medium, a good balance for her. But why is it always, and this might be for you, why is it always when you think you found the one, then somebody else comes along and you have to choose between the two? And we see her meeting one of the guys at the gas station. He you know, he does auto body work, and he's flirting with her, and even though, you know, he's all greased up and doesn't seem like her type, he is charming, and he does seem sincere, and he is a hard worker. So she seems to give him a chance, so that was nice. But now she's kind of playing the field.
I think she should.
You think she should, and why is that?
Because, I mean, she just got out of a crazy engagement. I mean, I feel like I can relate to her because I've kind of gotten out of a relationship over a year ago. But, you know, I think it's time for her to build her team. So I think
you mentioned that earlier, trying to build the team. So, okay, so everybody out there, you know, on our iTunes, on our YouTube, this little lady right here, Jahminah, is trying to build her team. So if you like her, again, your Twitter is what?
JAHMINAH.
Or you can comment, and, you know, maybe we could do a little AFTERBUZZ Connect
Match.com.
For our single ladies. And maybe we'll bring in, if you're in the LA area, maybe we'll bring in one of the guys and try to do a little love match connection here on the show. I think that is a great idea. So we'll see. Would you be open to dating somebody?
Totally.
Nice. Okay, so back to building the team. For me personally, I think this is something that Raquel should be doing after coming off of a, like you said, a long relationship. You should be dating. You want to see what's out there, because you don't want to settle for less when you're ready to settle down. And she's looking for love, and that's what it seems like. So this episode for me, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing her character kind of play the field a little and enjoy it, and that was a big thing for me. So our second topic, after our Amazon read, of course. Now, one thing great about AfterBuzz is that we get to host and we get to have these beautiful studio and all that other stuff. But the only way we can do it is with your help. So, you guys out there who love shopping on Amazon, of course I do.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to have to get the Single Ladies DVD set off of Amazon. But the way you want to do it is you want to go to AfterBuzzTV.com and click on the banner at the top. And that's going to redirect you to Amazon. But what's going to happen is we're going to help get funding for our show. So if you want to see more Single Ladies, and if you want to date with Miss Jahminah, you want to go through Amazon after clicking the banner at the top on AfterBuzz.com. Loving the effect.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so topic number 2 for Single Ladies is April. Now, what we're doing this episode is we're just going through each character because there was so much going on with each. Now, April, and I was telling Jahminah, is one of my favorite characters on the show. She had asked me, which character are you most relatable to? And I feel like Keisha's a little too rough for me.
Yeah, she's pretty rough.
Yes, but then I feel like Raquel's a little too sweet for me. So I feel like maybe I'm
in the middle.
I have the angel on this shoulder and the devil on this one. So it's a little bit of both. Now in this episode, April,
oh my goodness,
she went through a lot, you know, and we've seen her before in this season kind of have to confront the fact that she was a mistress and that the reason why her marriage ended was because of her own fault. She was cheating on her husband, and what I do respect about April, what I do respect about April, and not so much the fact that what she did cheating, that's not what I respect, but she owns it. And
she doesn't play the role like, oh my God.
Exactly. And what's good is that she regrets it, and she's not scared to say that. You know, I messed up. I made a mistake. And we see that in this episode where she runs into, and this is crazy. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
The man that you are cheating with, you run into his ex-wife. And the reason why that woman is the ex-wife is because of you. So
that's a lot to swallow. That's really tough.
I can't imagine. I thought I was going to see hair pulled out, you know, punches, and I thought Keisha and Raquel were going to have to jump in, but I thought we were going to see a little basketball wives drama right here, some bottles being thrown. But it was nice to see that these ladies were able to handle themselves in an adult situation.
Well, the ex-wife said that she's not here for that. She clearly stated that as soon as, you know, they were talking to each other. So I think that's a good thing. So.
And, you know, even April, I feel like she handled herself as an adult. And
throw them bottles. I'm going to throw you bottles.
Exactly. And, you know, she was even apologetic. And I thought that was nice to see because she owned what she did and she was sincerely sorry about it. And it was nice to see that they were able to part ways. And then, you know, there was a little something in there that kind of gave us a glimpse what could happen later on the show. And it did. You know, the woman had said, you know, just to let you know, I am happy now. I am so happy. And we're kind of thinking like, oh, okay, she found someone new. But later on in the show, we see the man she found out that was new was April's
ex-boo.
Exactly. April's ex-husband. Can you imagine? Exactly. Can you imagine? What are your thoughts, or how do you feel, or if you were that woman, if you were in April's shoes, what would you feel like, being that you broke up this happy home and they made a happy home on their own? From the pieces that you broke apart. Exactly.
I would totally feel the same way. I mean, she handles it like way better than I would have. I'm kind of very temperamental and I'm crazy. I'm willing to admit that.
Okay, so the guys that want to date Jahminah, she's admitting she's a little crazy.
I have a temper. TV exclusive. But she's handling it really well. But personally, I don't know what I would have done. I don't know if I would have called Reggie, though, because, I mean, that's an open invitation for you know what goes down, you know?
Okay. Now, after all this drama, now Reggie.
Right.
Just to, in case of you guys, if you don't know what's going up, let me just fast forward. Reggie was the stripper that she met, who they started dating, and then she couldn't take the fact that he was a stripper. So we thought that was all done with.
Right.
Then we see in this episode that they're working out together at a gym. So now it's this awkward friendship zone.
Oh my goodness.
And I can say, I think we've all been there. I can say I have, where
yeah, I have too.
the person you're dating doesn't work out, but they're still a genuine good person. And that's one of the reasons why you kind of fell for them.
Right.
But then you realize, hey, this isn't going to work out in a relationship. So you stay friends. But then it becomes awkward because they're dating, you're dating, and especially when they're dating somebody that you know is not good enough for them. And as you can see, this little, I think she called her a gym rat.
Right, and his little sister too, at that.
Oh, he did. He did. I do that too. I can admit it.
Really?
I'll call somebody a brother or a little brother. Once you're in the friendship zone, you are in the friend zone.
I feel like it should be cut off.
You do.
I don't like the friend zone thing. I think it should just.
But even if you think there's a good person in them, and
but
it didn't work out.
It didn't work out, but it's just still awkward because I had feelings for this person, and I don't want to. I'm jealous. Like, I don't want to see them trying to move on and like date other chicks. It's just not.
But really, even if you're over them,
I don't know. I don't like to be in that situation. I'm really smart when it comes to situations like that, because I don't want to get weak in the moment and say that instance where he came over and they just like had sex and everything. Like, I don't want to be I don't want to fall temptation and things like that. I don't. I'm pretty safe when it comes to like making sure the people that are in my life are like in my life for a reason, and I don't want to cross ties. And that usually happens. I mean, most of the time, if you have a friend, like I call them maintenance men, you kind of keep them on the back burner for one of those nights. And that was clearly, it could have gone.
A maintenance man.
Yeah, that's a maintenance man in the works.
Okay, so I had this discussion with somebody that I went out to eat with just yesterday. And, you know, I always thought that a platonic friend, I have guy friends, and I swear they're just guy friends. Oh, they're platonic, they're just friends. And he kind of broke it down to me. He was like, sweetie, a platonic friend is a genuine friendship, but there is no physical attraction or sexual attraction to each other. But that was the definition in the dictionary.
Right.
And, you know, that was new to me. It never came to my mind as that. I thought that you can be platonic friends and still be attracted to each other, but it will be platonic because you don't act upon it.
Right.
You don't act upon that sexuality. You don't, so you kind of just keep it in. And I learned that that's not a platonic friend. If there is any on either part, physical
it's always
desire, then it's not a platonic friend. So that was new to me. Do you believe that you can have platonic friends that are on the opposite sex?
No, I don't. I mean, I do in one way, but it has to be established as that in the beginning and end with that. You know, I just don't trust people who want to be my friend, and they come off, especially if they come off telling me like, oh, you're so sexy, blah blah blah, and like trying to get at me, and then all of a sudden it turns into a friendship. So I don't really like and then like say you break up with someone and they're like right there, and that just freaks me out, because I don't want someone to be you know, take advantage of my vulnerability, you know, in situations like that. See,
I do believe in platonic friendships, but I also believe that you can have friendships that are not platonic, but they can still stay friendships.
Establishing that in the beginning.
Exactly. As long as you make sure there's a barrier and you put that wall up and say, hey, you're the friend zone. You are the brother. Kind of drill it into them and let them know. So you guys out there watching, we love you. We'd love to, you know, read your comments and see what you say. And the best way to do that is we have a new iTunes application, but it's a podcast app. So what you want to do is, if you have an iPhone or iTunes, download the application, and that way we can see your comments and compliments and everything else that comes with it through that application. So again, there's a new podcast application that we would love for you to download. And what I want to ask you guys is, do you believe in platonic friendships? We just discussed it, but we would like to hear it from you. Can you really be just friends with the opposite sex? So again, we kind of discussed, You can, you can't. It's a little up in the air.
Yeah.
Okay, so topic number 3, Omar. Now, Omar,
I love him. He's amazing.
he's definitely a platonic friend, and the reason he is gay,
Right.
which we know, he is a fine gay man on the
He
show.
is. He is. All the men are fine.
Yes, they are, but he is gay. So we seen him go through some things in this episode, and one of those things was he had ran into an old high school classmate.
Right.
Now, the classmate approached him and kind of made it seem like, oh, you're a fashion designer and this is why you're working in this retail store. And he kind of played it up like, yeah, my new clothing line, and his name was Moo Moo, and I was like, really, Omar? Moo
He hid behind the clothes and everything. It was hilarious.
Yeah, you could tell he was scared, and you know, I think even after high school, college, we do run into those situations where you're working jobs that you don't necessarily want to work, and you do have bigger goals and aspirations. But when somebody kind of catches you know,
not doing
where
what you say you're doing.
Exactly, you get embarrassed. So Omar's friend kind of told him, you're going to go to the high school reunion, and Omar kind of explained to everybody, you know, in the episode, I can't go because I'm not where I want to be. I am not this designer that I thought. Does that surprise you of his character? Because he seems so open and honest about everything, especially his sexuality.
Right.
So does that surprise you that he wouldn't be open and honest about who he is and what he's doing as a career?
It's really surprising because, I mean, he's upfront most throughout all the episodes that we've seen so far. And to see him kind of like hide behind the clothes and just like, oh my God. But I'm expecting to see him, you know, make it, you know, hopefully in a couple episodes that we'll see him designing some clothes. But yeah, I definitely think that that's a big shock to us. Yeah.
I hope this does propel him and push him forward to keep on
now
striving.
It will.
I know, exactly. To keep on striving. And I've been in that situation where, you know, I've worked jobs, waiting tables, because I have bigger dreams and I can't commit to a 9 to 5. And, you know, it can be embarrassing, but I think that's when you kind of have to look at yourself in the mirror and really say to yourself, what I do doesn't define who I am. And I think Omar is going to have to face this. It seems he faced that with his sexuality, but in terms of where he is as far as career.
That's so crazy that he's like, sexuality is such a touchy subject, and it's, I mean, he's out in front with it, but when it came to, you know, admitting where he was in life as far as his career, it's just like, really? I'm really shocked.
You know, I'm shocked too. I would like to see more of Omar's character develop throughout the season and see.
He's got a good character.
Yeah, he does, but I
really
want to
cool.
see more of where he comes from and what has made him the man he is and what is keeping him back from the man that he wants to be. So we'll have to see that. And Keisha, you know, she's such a strong character, talking about who you are and where you want. Like, this woman is just
bad.
She is bad. She knows what she wants, especially her sexuality and when it comes to who she's dating. Now, in this episode, we don't see any of her sexy exes, which is nice to see in a way because she kind of was just running back and forth in a circle. So we do meet this new guy who is a general with a gorgeous accent.
Yes.
When you first seen him on camera, his character, what did you think of him? Did you think, you know, oh, this is this mysterious man with this noble career, or did you kind of think there's something more to him?
I thought that he played a really good role. I mean, I was like hooked, like, oh my goodness, I want to meet someone like him. and
his accent, can I say?
I
mean, that doesn't.
Accents
woos,
do it.
When we talk about what woos you, that accent, I was like, and he had all his badges on his uniform. I'm like, I see you, Keisha.
Yeah.
Moving on up.
She was, at least.
Now, later on in the episode, we did see that he did woo her. In fact, he only had he only had one night to woo her, and then he was gonna go off to Afghanistan, and it was kind of just this little dramatic fairy tale princess story, and I'm just like, why is he doing this?
Yeah.
Why? If you had one night, would you think that would be worth it? If you met somebody, the man of your dreams, in one night?
One night? Oh my goodness! It would take first thing. It would take more than one night. But I would definitely have to stay in touch with him. I mean, I don't believe in the one night. I mean, like, oh my God, this is never going to happen again. I feel like if I'm going to see this person again and I'm going to make that a possibility. He's going to make that a possibility. So no.
And for me, I think that's a red flag.
Yeah.
All that, you're going to sweep me off my feet. You're going to charm me with your accent.
Right.
We only have one night, and then you're going to fly off. That would already send a red flag to me saying something isn't right, and it wasn't right. Come to find out, you break it to everybody. Go ahead. I'm breaking all the
out. He is actually a cleaning guy for the hotel that they met. I mean, that's the craziest
thing. A general. He is a janitor.
A janitor of
general
the closet there, right? So, and he didn't even have the accent. He had
that is the
worst
hood
accent. I'm like, oh my goodness, but that was really good though. I mean, what he did to get her, like, harassing the other guy and like standing up for her was pretty cool. I mean, that has had to happen like several times. He's got his thing down, but it's kind of scary too to think that someone that trained can just like woo a girl like Keisha.
And that's what I'm saying. A girl like Keisha, such a strong personality.
Yeah,
to be able to trick her, to me, he should go into acting, not cleaning floors and toilets.
And him as an actor was pretty good. I mean, that's really amazing.
And, and speaking of acting on the show, we were speaking of all the guys on the show.
Oh my goodness.
They are beautiful, but
Man
the
candy.
acting is not up there.
Yeah, Raquel's guy, the one with the braids.
Oh,
the
yeah,
auto shop guy.
Yes.
I mean, he's hot, but his like character was like really stiff. Yeah. So
not only him, but April's new friend / brother.
Oh my goodness.
The stripper, his acting, again, I cannot get over it. I'm thinking maybe the first episode that he was acting in, maybe he had a little of the, the jitterbugs and was a little bit nervous. But this episode, he keeps on proving that he needs to go to acting class. I'm sorry. And, I'm not going to sit here and say that if I went on the show that I would be that great, but it's just crazy to me how you have all these beautiful men, but a lot of them can't act. But I will say the people that are casted on the show as main actors, they do a great job. And Omar being one of them.
Oh, yes. He's the best, I feel like.
Yes, he is an excellent actor. So, again, our single ladies topic, we have 2 juicy topics, but we're not going to tell you them just yet. So if you want to stick around for a little while, when you come back from the commercial, we will give you a little dose of some single ladies topics.
Hey there, good buddies. The handle's Woolly Bear. I'm a truck driving man, but I'm not that old school kind of truck driving man, no. I like to listen to podcasts while I'm driving through these great United States of ours. And my favorite podcasts in the world are from AFTERBUZZ TV. And why? Because AFTERBUZZ TV is like a post-game wrap-up show for all your favorite TV shows. Like Jersey Shore, Dancing with the Stars, Mad Men, and a whole truckload more. I like listening to my Gossip Girl podcast, catching up with all my fellow fans and getting all the latest news and gossip. No, I got some strong opinions. And AFTERBUZZ TV lets me share those opinions with thousands of other listeners. Woo-wee, what a feeling. I used to doze off on those lonely stretches of road. And don't worry, I got the cruise control. But now I'm wide awake and listening to all the AFTERBUZZ TV goodness. Check them out, give them a holler, and tell them the old Woolly Bear sent you.
Now tell them the old Woolly Bear sent you. Those commercials just crack me up. I want to meet that hillbilly guy who talks in that commercial. He seems like he can act.
Yeah.
Maybe he should be casted on the show.
He should. We may not know what he looks like, though.
Exactly. He might look like, a woolly bear, but he might be kind of good looking. So our single ladies topics of the show, we have 2 of them. The first one is, who do you do it for? And the reason why we picked that topic was because Keisha had met this man in the beginning of the episode, and he had said to her, girls kill me looking all sexy and available, but don't want to meet nobody. And it kind of brought something up that happened to me recently. I had went on a first date with somebody, and before we went on a date, he had said, can you please wear one of those tight dresses or cat suits that you wear on Instagram?
That's a bold statement. Yeah.
Now, to me, if we've never met before, you do not tell me what to wear, especially
red flag there.
If you are
hell to the knob.
Yes. Especially if you are not my man and you're not buying my clothes.
Right.
And it kind of made me feel like, okay, well, you're not going to like me for who I am.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm automatically thinking, oh, I'm going to go on this date on with some tennis sneakers, my hair up in a bun,
Might
and
as
some
well.
gym clothes, just to be like, this is me, you know, take it or leave it. And one of the comments he had said to me was, you know, yeah, I didn't mean to offend you, but you wear this stuff when you go out to parties and when you post your pictures on Twitter and
Right.
Instagram. You're doing it for guys' attention, so why wouldn't you wear that on a date? And this is where that question comes up. Who do you do it for? And I had to let him know, I do it for me. Me comes first. This dress that I'm wearing, yes.
Beautiful.
Yes, you AFTERBUZZers. You know, you guys were part of it. I wanted to impress you, but it made me first feel
Right.
good when I looked in the mirror. So, you know, who do you do it for? And whatever that you do, are you doing it for other people or are you doing it for yourself?
I think I see all sides of the story.
Yeah.
I mean, when I go out, I do it for me because I love to dress up. I love putting on makeup. It's like my thing.
Yeah.
And I think women do it for other women too when we go out to the club.
This is true.
And then, I mean, most importantly, you want to do it for yourself. And depending on what kind of mood I'm in, I will do it for a guy too. Like if I'm going on a hunt and, you know, building my team, that's what I'm doing it for.
Okay, so that being said, you're doing it for a guy. When the guy had went up to Keisha in this episode and he was saying, you're killing me, you're dressing like this, you're putting on a show like this, but you don't want any attention and you don't
Right.
want to talk to a guy. Do you think that's fair? Do you think it was right for him to say that? Or do you think it's Keisha's fault? Do you think she should be going out covered up and not looking as good to not attract men?
No.
Okay.
I mean, she looked amazing in her BCBG.
Yes, you
dress.
did call it out.
And I think if you want to, I'm not going to go to a club in something that I would wear to church. I mean, I want to go out and look good. And I think that he was totally wrong. I mean, I know a lot of men, that's what they go for, but he shouldn't have voiced his opinion so strongly to the point that, you know, Odu had to come up and, like, you know, handle the situation.
Yeah.
And I think that's really disrespectful, but unfortunately that's what we see today in clubs and wherever we go. Sometimes we don't want that attention, but we still get it. And there's nothing that we can do about it. Either change the way we dress or, I mean, just be bold and just walk away, you know?
And she was pretty bold. But now, you know, that the situation is replaying back in my head, I'm starting to think, oh, General Boy,
Oh my
maybe
God.
that was a coy. Maybe he had that guy harass her so he could go
Yeah.
up to her and act
Yeah.
like, let me save the day, Mr. General here. So
Right.
that way he could swoop her off of her feet
That's
and woo her.
crazy. That's really scary to think
Yes,
about. Oh
that
my gosh.
is scary. So even the romantic ones, those Prince Charmings
I
that we've
know.
been waiting for, I guess we have to watch out for them
Keeping
too.
our eyes on them.
Our second single ladies topic is what woos you, and as we've seen, the general did woo, or I should say janitor.
Right.
He did woo Keisha for a little. You know, there's so many different things that woo different women, different people.
Right.
What woos you when you're meeting a guy? Is it pulling out a chair? Is it, you know, asking to meet your parents? Is it taking you on a romantic date, playing the guitar? Or is it just something real? Maybe just, you know, sitting on the step, you know, having a 40 and, you know, having good conversation. What woos you?
I think what woos me is the chivalry.
Yeah.
And then cologne. I don't know.
That's a
I
good
will
one.
pass
That's
out
a
from
good one.
cologne. And the way a man dresses too.
Yeah.
Like if those things are like in order, lights out for me. Like
Really?
it's just over. What about you?
You know, there's different things that woo me, but I would say the number one thing that really woos me is an ambitious man.
Yeah.
If I meet somebody that just has goals and aspirations and is so like ready to you know, go after them and doesn't let anything stop him, like he could come from, you know, the streets or
Right.
from, you know, a different class, but if he just keeps on working and keep on, that to me is the most attractive thing.
Yeah.
And the second thing, I would say a man who has style.
Oh,
Or some
definitely.
people call it swag.
That's some swag that I love
Yes,
about a man.
I actually love it when a man tells me how to dress, but
Yeah.
not the first date. Let me clear
Yeah,
that.
that
Not
was
the first
totally
date.
wrong.
But when a man says, and you know, or even, hey, you should wear this, and gets me it, you know, that's
Right.
different to me.
Yeah, that's really good.
Somebody who can style me and kind of, you know, upgrade me a little. I like that. That kind of woos me.
Yeah.
Somebody who's confident in his skin and what he wears.
Right, right.
Is there anything else that woos you? Or how about this? Is there any turn-offs? Or is there anything that a man can do that is automatically, no, it's over?
Well, you talked about being ambitious, and I think some men can be overly ambitious.
Yeah.
And the first person that comes to mind is Diddy. Like, I love his ambition.
So you're saying you couldn't date Diddy?
I could. I love what he has done, but like I feel like he's over the top. And I know that sometimes that works with certain people, but I feel like he's just like crazy. But that's one of the things that will totally turn me off. Somebody that's like overly ambitious to the point where they're controlling.
Yeah.
And that's one of my issues that I have with some men.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. I think a turn off for me is somebody who is too materialistic. And it's kind of going back on what I said, but kind of not, because I do love a man who likes nice things.
Yeah.
But when you're dependent on those nice things to feel good about yourself,
Right.
to me, that's a problem. If you don't get those Louis sneakers and it's a big hassle, or, you know, you're looking at other people and because they don't have this type of shoe on or this type of clothes on, you kind of categorize them as not being good enough.
Right.
To me, that's too materialistic.
It is. But a lot of women look at that. I mean, Keisha's character is very gold diggerish, and unfortunately that's how we find men that are attractive, because we see what they have and we see that as stability and someone that can kind of take care of us too.
We seen Raquel on the show, and she was dating the automotive guy, and you know, he's not very flashy. He was even saying, you know, we're in this hotel, it's probably like $300 a night. She was like, no, sweetie, this is like $500 a night. And he was like, you know, you're a wealthy girl, why would you want a man like me? And she even said it herself, it's because you're a man, you work hard for what you have, and that is attractive.
I like that about her character.
Yeah. So it was nice to see, you know, a woman who comes from a prestige family to be able to go on a date with a guy who doesn't have much and still appreciate him for who he is and what he does. So it was really nice.
And their first date was really cute. I really like that. Just them going to his place of work and her knowing her cars, because I can relate. I'm a daddy's girl, and I know my cars. So,
you do?
Yeah.
So you knew what car that was when
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I know how to change a tire.
Oh yeah. Well, let me tell you, my daddy taught me how to hot wire a car.
Oh wow. I don't know how to do that, but
I haven't stole any cars.
Okay,
But that's
that's
probably
good.
something that nobody knows about me. But yeah.
everybody knows.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
I know how to hot wire a car.
Oh my
Now
gosh.
we've seen her, you know, have fun with him in his automotive shop, and we've seen a couple different things. But I just found for their first date, her getting dirty and learning how to change the tire. Me personally, I don't know if I would want that on my first. I would do it, but I wouldn't be happy about it. I probably got my nails done and my hair done to impress you, and now you're gonna make me get dirty. But
Yeah. I feel like first dates should be something interactive. And
I
a lot
agree.
of us
I so agree. When a man takes, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
This is kind of, you know, I'm really diving in here, but I feel when a man takes you on a first date and the first date is to the movies, I'm sorry.
You don't talk to each other. Yeah.
Exactly. I have a problem with that. The movies.
Right.
It's
If it's
not-
followed by dinner, but I mean, that's 2 hours of you sitting and being quiet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not getting to know you in the movie theater.
Right. Unless he's trying to get on in the back seat later on. So maybe.
Or something, yeah, or like kind of rub up on your arm while you're
Right.
watching the movie. So I do agree with you.
Yeah.
I do believe that the first date should be interactive. So you're saying for first date, you know,
I
one
wouldn't
of
mind.
you wouldn't mind. So one of, you know, our viewers that want to take you on a date, they can actually have you change their tire for their car, and you're cool with that.
Right. As long as you just let me know up front that this is what we're doing, so I can dress for the occasion.
All right. So if you want to take her on a date, you can take her to change your car, clean your tires, wash your floors, as long as it's hands-on and interactive.
Yes, I don't mind. Because, I mean, really, I mean, it's a good way of, like, knowing what this person is like. And they don't have to be fancy dates, even though I really love fancy dinners and all that. But that's not going to tell me anything about how your domestic skills are, or like how later on are you going to be able to fix the car, or might I have to spend money to, you know, go to a mechanic. I mean, it's just little things that you learn on dates like that kind of put that in the back of your mind, like, this is the kind of man I want, this is the kind of man I don't want.
And the kind of man you don't want is somebody who pretends to be a general and is not.
Oh my goodness.
So if you're going to take her on a date, please be upfront. Don't lie, because me here at AfterBuzz, I will come through the internet and find you, and we'll hunt you down. Again, this is such a great episode. We love to have you on. You have to come on again. And
I don't mind.
Next time we got to talk about some fashion, because the fashion here was
off the chain.
Amazing. And you even was calling out the clothes.
Oh, I know my stuff. I know my stuff.
You do. So next time we have you on, we're going to have to do a little fashion segment, and maybe that will be our single ladies topics.
I'm ready.
Now, some news that we do have this weekend.
AfterBuzz TV News.
I love all the music for everything.
I know.
So we don't have that much news, but some news that we do have was this weekend was the Essence Music Festival that was in New Orleans, and VH1 was able to catch up with some of the stars that are on the Single Ladies show. They were able to catch up with Keisha, and Lisa Ray was just saying how much she enjoyed the show, and you know, it was time to have time off, and that's what she was doing. She was enjoying the Essence Festival to be able to mingle.
Yeah, and Denise was too.
Oh, Denise.
She was drunk.
Yes, Denise did look drunk, and she was with Darryl Tifford.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if it was just you, but that little scene that they had together, there seemed like a little love connection. And I'm like, Keisha, you better get your man.
Yeah.
Keisha, you better get your man, because she was drunk and they was in the car, and you know, she kept on saying we're off the clock.
Yeah,
we're
I'm
not
gonna be
filming
googling that.
Exactly. So I predict. Speaking of predictions, I predict there's gonna be a love connection.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Wow.
There's a little dance for the predictions. I'm
Is
just
it?
so
What
excited.
is it?
Yeah,
Is it this?
I'm just so excited with everything. I'm like, keep on rolling and rolling. But with the predictions, I do predict that Denise Vasi and Darryl Tifford, that's his real name. I'm saying their real names because in real life, I do believe there's going to be a connection. And I wonder, or I predict that it might bleed over to the show. So we'll see about that. I predict that April will want her stripper boy back. This whole brother thing, sister thing is not going to last long. And Raquel, I predict that she's going to come to bump heads with this whole triangle of dating. She's going to have to choose one. One of the boys are going to have a problem with it. What do you predict for the show? Do you predict that any of the characters are going to change, stays the same? You let me know.
So I predict that Raquel is going, she said in the episode that she's never dated two guys at the same time. I think that's so cute. I've done it. I think that she's going to choose Charles, but I feel like there's going to be some other interactions and more distractions. And then I feel like April is going to have sex with Reggie. I just feel it. I just feel it. Like, as much as like he plays her as a little sister role, I think they're still gonna just like one night. Oh my God, I'm drunk. That's gonna happen. Yeah, those are my predictions. And Keisha, hopefully, I'm hoping that she finds someone else.
I agree. She will. And if she doesn't find anybody else, it will be an ex. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, I'm Fallon Mercedes. This was a great Single Ladies show. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Jahminah, tell us again where these beautiful men that are watching AfterBuzz can find you.
Jahminah, Jahminah at
That's your
Twitter and Facebook.
Nice. And again, if you want to tweet at me, you want to go to Miss Mercedes at MIS Mercedes. Please leave comments, download that podcast application, and we will see you next time. Thank you for joining us on Single Ladies.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.